If you binge, then you feel very disgusted with your actions, and then you promise yourself that tomorrow you will be perfect. Then you binge again because tomorrow is coming. This video is for you. As someone who lived in that loop more than 2 decades, and who reached on the other side, which is being a binge free for last 8 months, I also was able to lose 30 pounds in just 90 days without being on any diet or exercising by only focusing on my recovery process. I will be giving you 3-step system that will work you do exactly the same. Hello, I'm Mary. I am psychiatric resident. I work with people with eating disorders, and I was also able to recover from binge eating disorder, which I was struggling myself for more than 2 decades in my life. How I want to start this video is to tell you, first of all, that binge eating isn't a characteristic flaw. It's a very predictable brain plus behavior loop. You're basically in this loop. You just don't know how to get out from it, and today I will show you how you can do that. Let me start by explaining how my cycle would go, my binge restrictive cycle. I would binge first, perfect start, I know. Then I would feel ashamed. The shame and guilt was so huge that it would make me hate myself. Then I would create a plan for tomorrow because this plan would help me feel less anxious about my action and less guilty. With the plan, it was extremely aggressive, like keto and OMAD at the same time, or even fasting whole day or fasting a couple of days. Because now, when I already had the plan, what I would do is binge again. Very predictable because from tomorrow, bunch of foods which I love are not allowed to anymore. So I need to eat them right now, today. Even the foods I didn't like, I would eat them because they were about to be forbidden. And then I binge again. So this was creating the perfect loop. I know the word perfect is not perfect to use here. I'm sorry for that, but I couldn't think of anything else. So I was in this loop, which was never ending. And it's like a rat race with your own brain, and you are never able to win. I remember eating this ice cream at 3 a.m. with the last chance feeling because tomorrow I was starting one more restrictive diet again. And the moment changed the way I see the recovery now. The biggest thing I realized was that I need to remove the tomorrow rule because the tomorrow I'll restrict plan creates the huge urgency today. It makes food feel very scarce, and scarcity makes your brain panic. Their panic is what creates the binge. Because I know I cannot have ice cream from tomorrow, I will eat ice cream right now at 3 a.m. because I will not be able to have it tomorrow. Like, not because I want it, not because it will taste great, not because it will help me, but because it's forbidden from tomorrow. I know the biggest objection with it will be that if I give myself permission to eat whatever I want, I will lose control and gain tons of weight. I was afraid of that too, but a very unexpected thing that permission brought was the interest with food. I completely lost it. Like, it can look very messy in the beginning because you're releasing the pressure. Now you're allowing yourself something that you have been deprived for years. And first thing that you will do is go all in and would want to eat anything. Maybe you will do. When I took away the restriction from myself for the first time, like, I completely took the restriction away. There was no plan for tomorrow. There was no I will exercise hours until I lose all of these calories. None of them. I completely allowed myself to have whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, and I had 5 Snickers bars. Like, the moment that restriction disappeared, I went into the shop, got myself the big size of the Snickers bars, and I ate 5 of them in a row. And I felt horrible. Like, it was the biggest fear come true because I was afraid I would lose control, and that's exactly what happened. But you know what happened afterwards? I didn't eat any sweets, any bars, any chocolate, any pastry for whole months because I didn't want to. Like 5 Snickers was enough for me to not eat any sweets for a month. Not because I didn't allow myself to have sweets anymore, but because I could have them anytime I wanted. And the more and more I was listening to myself, I didn't want it. That was so weird for me. Like, the experience was very unique. I still remember this feeling of surprise. I was so surprised that I would walk through the chocolate aisle and I wouldn't even look at him. And I would forget to get snacks when I would go back home. It became something so normal. My previous self, the one who was actively in this restriction, could have never done that. She would have been checking all the calories on back of the chocolates. She would have made bunch of plans, downloaded bunch of recipes to make sure I will eat a lot of food but with less calories. There was complete switch that happened with me, and I know I'm telling you to don't restrict it anymore, but I also been there and know exactly how difficult that will be, because you cannot just convince your brain to not restrict anymore, right? You can say that I'm not going to do this from tomorrow, but you will still get these noises in your head that will tell you, what if you're gonna eat this chocolate and you're gonna gain weight? What if you're not gonna exercise and gain weight? What if these binge episodes will come up? What if you will lose complete control? And those are very challenging to deal with. I know it. But without fixing that, it is almost impossible to recover from binge eating. The one more thing I would like to clarify here, permission doesn't mean that eat everything forever. It means to stop using restriction as your strategy. You need to plan for the moment you start eating. Because diets tell you don't eat ice cream. They don't tell you what to do when you're already 3 bites into the ice cream and you know you shouldn't continue, but your brain says, finish it all. Tomorrow we're gonna go work out. Like that's how my mind would do that. And then it would trick me into thinking that now you already finished full ice cream. Now all your progress is gone. Now you destroyed it. Let's eat everything today and create the plan for tomorrow which will not allow you to have any type of food, and it will keep you in the binge loop. What I want you to do for the second step is to sit down when you eat. You don't eat standing up in the kitchen. You don't eat while you're cooking. You are not checking and snacking while you are walking around the house. You have to create this routine around the food. Food should become something separate you do. Like you are plating it the way you like. You are cooking the food that you genuinely enjoy. It shouldn't be something to get over with and go on. You should eat while you are focusing on the food itself. So no TV, no conversations. Be extremely focused on food. Eat consciously by start with smelling. Like, do you like how it smells? Then do you like how it looks? Then what's the taste? Like, can you differentiate the tastes? Is it more spicy? Is it not? Maybe it's something sweet. Like, be very focused on eating. Like, slow down. Slow down, chew it several times, see how the consistency of it will change, how the taste of it will change. This routine, what it will create is that it will make you feel full faster because you're consciously eating, so you get your hunger signals better. And the last step will be to replace the emotional job food is doing. This is the most important one. This is the biggest one. You can do all the steps I will give you. If you're not going to do this one, your recovery process will be very, very slow, and it will be very, very torturing, because the main thing binge eating does for you is to emotionally regulate you. Food is doing some type of job for you. It's comfort, it's safety, stress relief, maybe boredom, and you're using food as a part of entertainment. What I did was very simple. I made a list. I made a list of things that make me feel genuinely happy and joyful. I made a list that I know make me feel better, because to regulate your emotions, you basically should learn how to switch your emotional state from undesired one to desired one. Very simple tool is to do breathing exercises, because we can manipulate our breathing to make us feel the certain way. If you start breathing very fast right now, you will automatically get tired. You will get excited. It will be like an anxiety, like even. But if you intentionally slow it down, you will feel like you feel way more rested. You feel very better. It's taking away the stress. So breathing exercises are very, very good. The second thing that is very good, as I already mentioned, is the creating the list. I call it my joy toolkit, and I love this name. The joy toolkit is something that gives you joy. It doesn't have a goal. Do you have a pet? Like petting your pet. Oh, petting your pet will give that. Taking it on a walk will do that. Calling a friend will do that. Chatting with people will do that. A lot of things are designed only to give you the joy in your life. And I would like you to make a list, at least 10 of them. And before food, do one of them. When you feel extremely stressed, do one of them. When you feel very tired, when you feel bored, you need entertainment, or you are procrastinating and avoiding some task, instead of going and having food, you can go and do one of those things. And let's see, would you still want to have food? I can guarantee that 90% of the time you wouldn't, because you already got the result. You already regulated your emotion without food, and now there's no need for food anymore, so you forgot about it. What it does, the best thing that it does, is that it creates the break into the chain. Right now, your chain looks like this. I am stressed. I'm gonna use food. I will regulate my emotion. So stress, food, emotion. That's the chain your brain has. It's a habit, so you don't notice it when you do it most of the times. What will this joy toolkit do is that stress, food, plus 10 other options makes me feel good, emotionally regulated. So what will happen is that when you get stressed, instead of automatically going for food, now your brain will start going through the options it has. And you're like, maybe I should call my friend. So there will be stress, call a friend, emotionally regulated. So food is taken away from the equation, which is very good outcome. What changed when I did all of those things was the desire to binge started to fading away. I could eat food that used to trigger me without the trigger anymore. Food noise dropped. Unfortunately, or fortunately, it didn't disappear, but it is significantly lower. I can barely hear it. Shame is gone. The shame and guilt was one of the most torturous things I was going through when I was in a binge restrictive cycle, because shame would make me feel like a worst person on this earth. And it was very isolating for me. So taking away the shame, not feeling shame anymore, was the one of the best outcomes I received. And the last fun was I finally lost weight. Like, I have been struggling to lose weight my whole life. I was overweight from the childhood, and I tried every diet ever. I was on a keto, I was on OMAD, intermittent fasting. I have done bunch of restrictive diets, none of them worked. The moment I started working on my recovery from binge eating, I naturally started losing weight without extreme exercises, without specific diets. And I started eating less naturally because my binge episodes disappeared. And that was very, very pleasant outcome. That was one of the things I really, really wanted to get, and I'm very happy I did it. Um, if you're struggling with binge eating or emotional eating and you want the help to apply any of these steps, any of these 3 steps provided, or you just want a supportive community so you can go and tell them how your day went, how is your binge eating recovery is going, join my free Skool community. That is a place where we always discuss binge eating and weight loss. I will be seeing you in the next one. Bye.